Yo, you guys, this is Blacklisted the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Parasyte, episode 22, or aka Kiseijuu, episode 22, okay? And this episode, it was okay. I mean, it started off well, because you have Goto chasing Shinichi and Miki telling him, yeah, I'm sorry, I hate to tell you this, but we need to go, alright? So they end up stealing a car and trying to draw Goto away from, like, where civilians are. And Migi is the one driving. Migi ends up driving the car off a ledge onto Goto's car, and it doesn't kill him. Alright, so they end up retreating into the woods to try and come up with a strategy. Alright, and they decide to try. Well, they separate themselves so that you have Migi over here in the trees, and then Shinichi not far away, but far away, with this like flaming spear of wood. And they take advantage of the fact that Migi has a signal but Shinichi doesn't. So Goto is following them and senses where Migi is, and he thinks that, oh well, Shinichi must be there too. Alright, but he's not. Alright, so Migi ends up drawing Goto in, and that's when Shinichi comes out, throws the spear with fire at the end, hits Goto in the leg. Alright, and this ends up disengaging his surface cells from his command. That's how they phrased this on Crunchyroll. All right. And while Goto is distracted in that sense, Migi comes down and tries to cut his head off. However, as we learned a while ago with freaking Kuramori, when Migi is separated from Shinichi, his strength decreases. So he wasn't actually capable of cutting Goto's head clean off. Alright, so he's still hanging on by a thread. Alright, and because of that, they have essentially lost their chance. They had one shot and they blew it. Alright, it wasn't enough. So now Migi is sitting here thinking like, okay, we've lost now. There's no way we can win at this point. So because of that, he tells Shinichi to run away. Alright, and he surprisingly starts to like reminisce and stuff, talk about how he's happy that he met Shinichi and all this, and it caught me by surprise because Migi, in the past, he was the one telling Shinichi, listen, I don't care about you. I just care about the fact that I need you to live. I'm not gonna kill you, but I can still take your eyes out and like can cripple you and crap. So Migi used to be saying things like that to Shinichi, but now I guess after all the things with Tami and Ryoko, he's developed to a point where he legitimately cared for Shinichi, which is interesting. All right, but there was that, and then it looks as though Migi actually died. However, later in the episode, they drop a hint that he might actually be alive. All right, this happens when Shinichi's having a dream, and like one of Migi's cells tells him, no, he's still alive. Then he wakes up and he sees one of the eyes on like his elbow, or like his stub, kind of, where Migi used to be. All right, and so I get. It looks as though, I mean, I don't really see how Migi could be alive at this point, but maybe he is. Like, I'm interested to see how they try and pull this off, but looks like he's alive. All right. Now, Shinichi, like I said, he runs away, and he ends up being taken in by this elderly woman, Mitsuyo. Okay, and the rest of the episode, a lot of the episode, really most of it, is essentially dedicated to these two bonding, kind of. They talk about a lot of things, including the suspicious incidents that have been occurring in that area. There's been a truck dumping garbage somewhere. And there were two driverless cars that ended up crashing, which Shinichi was actually responsible for that. But he wasn't responsible for the trucks, right, and the trash, right? I'm not really sure if the one who's actually responsible for that is going to be relevant in these last two episodes. Um, I think it might have just been added in as a way to make people suspicious of outsiders, just kind of used as a plot device. I don't really think it's going to be relevant in the last two episodes, but there's a chance it might be, so it could help to just keep it in mind just in case, but it's probably not that big of a deal. Alright. Now, apparently, one of the people in this town or area, end up being killed by Goto. Okay, so there are a bunch of men who got together and they were going to essentially hunt the person responsible for this and take them out. Alright, but Shinichi knows that these guys are just going to get themselves killed because Goto's a beast and they're not going to be able to do anything to him. Alright, so he decides to leave before these guys and get the Goto first. Alright, and that's about it. I mean, there's talking here, but I mean, it's not really important. It's essentially Mitsuyo trying to tell him, don't you have people who want to see you come back? Don't just sacrifice your life like this, um, but it's I mean, in my opinion, this entire half of the episode, it was just kind of a way to waste time. Really, I mean, this came off to me as like them trying to give us a taste of this Shinichi Goto fight without actually having to commit to it fully and actually complete it in this episode. Because think about it, if they complete it in this episode, there's still 2 episodes left. They've got to do something. Which I don't they could have just made it made it a 22 episode series instead of 24, but whatever. It just it's like to me it's just they're doing this like this is the second time they've pushed this fight back when they introduced it and they made it look like this is going to happen and they made it look like this is going to conclude things and then they're just like nah later. All right, so I mean you do it enough times and I'm gonna stop caring. It's only natural. If you keep like dangling something in front of me and saying, oh, you almost got it, nope, not this time, and you're close, get close again, nope, not this time, and then I'm just gonna lose interest after a while. And I know I'm gonna get the fight eventually, but it's not like Parasyte fights are that long. So I feel like what's the point of looking forward to a fight that's going to end in a few minutes? It'd be one thing if they didn't tease us so much about it, but I mean, what's the point of teasing us this much when it's not going to live up to all this hype? Because again, Parasyte fights are not that long. So whatever, it's whatever. I don't know. Maybe the manga did this too, and if the manga did this too, then I don't know why. But I mean, to me, it just seems like this episode wasn't pointless, but it could have been. There was a much more efficient way to get things done in this episode than to have a lot of it just be time wasters and talking and stuff. It's like I was watching Bleach, like recent Bleach. Like, well, I mean, the anime's over, so it would be reading. But like, if the current parts of Bleach are getting animated, it would feel like I was watching that. All right, where it's like time wasting and talking and stuff, right? But yeah. Overall, I'll give this episode a 6 out of 10. I thought it was okay. But I was just bored for like the entire second half of the episode. So, I mean, yeah, I did enjoy the first half. I thought it was creative that they separated to try and trick Goto. But I mean, the second half just kind of like brought it down for me. So yeah, that's that, you guys. Episode gets a 6 out of 10. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.